So, our family cactus just died. Little cactus, my kids got it for me when we recently moved into our new place, and it died. We discussed it. Um, we talk a lot about our feelings in our nuclear family. That's on purpose. If you're familiar with my work, you probably aren't surprised. And I told him we got a choice. We can either um, keep trying to nurse the cactus and see what happens. And a couple days have passed. It's pretty clear the cactus is going away. Or we can go ahead and we live in Las Vegas. We can go to one of the nurseries and get a new cactus, one that's a little bit more resilient for the hot Nevada heat. Usually it's about 100 and during the summer, which is when the cactus really started to suffer, it was around 117 degrees at the height. So, maybe get a more resilient cactus because not all cacti are the same. And then what we can do is actually take this new cactus, plant it where the older cactus is now, slowly dying. And then if it does die, which it's clear it's going to die now, but when it does die, the nutrients of that go into the new cactus. And before I could even finish the second option, I was breaking it down in simpler terms because my kids are young. Before I could even finish, they're like, yes, I admire that spirit. In other words, it's not really a death; it's a rebirth. We're even talking about how we're going to name the cactus a variant of the first cactus to honor the first cactus. You know what I mean with the second cactus. In other words, it's a continuation. But I was thinking about it. We die every freaking day. Like I shaved. I know you probably can't tell because I'm a hairy guy. Believe it or not, I just recently shaved. But the hair comes back. But that hair is gone, and it's being replaced by my salt and pepper hair. New ones. My kids are growing a little bit every day. That kid that I spent 24 hours with the day before, he's gone. And then my kids are old enough where you start to see the cycle. You get the pictures, you get the videos, you have the family reunions, and suddenly you realize that everybody's a little bit older, including you. I was thinking, what if we handled everything like that? Because in essence, we die every single day. And in accepting that we die every single day, and I've always thought about death, even when I was younger. No particular reason. There was nothing traumatic in that way that happened. But I think if we understand that time is limited, that we accept that we're going to die, which is harder to do when we're young, maybe even harder to do when we're older. I'll let you know in a few years. But if we accept that, we're never going to have this conversation again. We're never going to have this moment again. We're never going to have the same body again. I forget the name of the ship. Feel free to throw it into the responses if you know it. But the name of the ship in, I believe it was Greek mythology, where it was on the road for X number of years, usual mythical quests, as they say. And of course, parts of the ship would break until it would be replaced. But then over the course of seven is a magical number for mythology, I think it was over the course of 7 years, then every single piece of the ship had been replaced. So is it the same ship? I would argue no, it's not. It slowly shifted over time. It wasn't dramatic. It wasn't like there's a shipwreck, well, let's build a new ship. But our lives are just like that. I'm a multiple of 7 at this point. A lot of you are watching or probably are too. So then things are always being replaced. So then what if we put aside the criticism and the longing for something else and appreciated the ship, the mythical journey, the moment that we're on? Appreciating the cactus, because whether it's in my lifetime or my grandchildren's lifetime or whatever, that cactus is going to go away. We just happen to see our cactus go away sooner. But everything dies. Every single moment of every single day. If you took that mentality, what would you be eager to be present for now that you're assuming is going to be around when you get around to it. You might not have the time.